What up, world, and welcome to another episode of The Bright Side Show, where we talk about all things marriage and family. I am your host, Stef, and I'm here as usual with my lovely wife, Crystal. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm chilling. And today we have our good brother Ricky back in the building.
Woo!
Back again, the first returning guest. And
Oh snaps! First returning guest.
First returning guest.
Yeah.
Well, we said you'd be coming back, right?
So yeah, I'm about to say we're not just saying stuff just to say. So. But we're here. This is the season finale of season 1 of the show.
Wow.
And I thought it would be.
Well, first of all, give it up. We don't finish. We don't finish. Y'all don't finish the season.
All right. Yeah, we did a season.
Can't believe it. Wow.
It'll hit me later. It'll hit me later.
We couldn't have done it without y'all.
For sure. But yeah, I think I'd be doing a disservice to myself and everybody involved if we didn't end the show with the core team that made everything happen. Me and myself, Crystal, and Ricky. So we've been, I guess, the three rocking out. And low key, I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to our shout out behind the camera, Chris. He
technician.
Our technician intern. He be here sneakily a lot.
Helping us out.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah. This couldn't operate without, like I said, the team. And the first thing I could think of is even going back to, like I said, game night at the apartment, asking Ricky, "Yo, how do we even film?" And without asking, without anything, just was like, "I got you." And I think I don't think how serious he meant it, but like you said, to you, like really had us this whole time. Shut up.
Hold up now.
But yeah, so this everything, this entire show has just been like it's been a family affair for sure. Like this has been all teamwork, and it just came together. It's beautifully. I will hope that's for y'all to decide, but I feel good. But
it's been good. It's like if y'all are the parents of this show, I'm definitely the godfather. I took this joint under my wing. If something happened, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good.
This is definitely being a ride. I definitely feel a part of the family now. We were friends before. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Hi and bye. What's up, y'all? Instagram. Oh, I see what y'all doing.
This
I love
brought
it.
us closer, right?
Legit.
I mean, this has been.
We would chill together and but it was just like this was like the next level. It's definitely one of them. Like, all right, God puts people in life for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Reason was immediately recognized.
Yeah, like your relationship. It's like you have friends, right? You have family, and then you got coworkers. We was all three for a little bit. It was like we hit all levels.
Yeah.
Like, we was the friend relationship. We got that. We don't master that. We see how it is. It's like, this is a family thing. Like I'm with your kids, it's having a good time. Yeah. And then it's coworkers. Like we gotta get stuff done together.
Gotta work.
So like we took it to levels with this.
Yeah.
In a short amount of time.
Yeah,
in a short amount of time. Yeah. Right.
All come together. Yeah. So as we near the end of the season, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel, Crystal?
I mean, like you said, it'll probably hit us like a little bit later. But like I feel really good. I feel a little relief because I feel like we can take a little break, just to kind of like refresh.
It was a lot at one time. I mean, it was like let's pump and.
It was a lot. It was hard.
It was pumping
work.
And dumping.
I wasn't expecting it to be as difficult as it has been, but it's just because I think we had a goal of like we want to start on this date. We want to be consistent, bi-weekly. You know, we don't want to just like start something then like fall off. Be like, oops, we can miss this episode. No, we really were like we're gonna do this.
Right.
But it was hard because it's like we're balancing real life. Like we have 2 small kids, have a full-time job. Getting our schedules together. You have a very busy schedule.
It ain't that busy.
You
ain't that
busy. You're out here doing everything, and then you be flying here and there. So it's like trying to put all the pieces together and getting it to fit like in the right time was tough, but
and
it worked out.
It worked out because, like, honestly, kudos to us because like we started with the game plan of a timeline, right?
Yeah.
And like we pre-recorded some episodes, did some promo, did some strategy meetings, and like we were like we're going to do this until this date. And it's funny because we had some wiggle room in the beginning, But now it's like, well, as we finish, it's the same week. Let's get this joint done.
Right.
But we still made it within that timeline. Like we didn't miss a week or other week.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's like, all right, we built this timeline, but we stuck to it, even though we at the latter end of it right now.
Nah, for sure. I about to say we made it to the end, and I think, especially looking at it in context of like relationship, family, it's almost like if this show was like our working relationship, which I think carries over to all relationships.
Right.
It was so much like compromise and having to actually communicate, which I think was probably not, I don't want to say difficult for me, but it was just like, I think in most things that I do, it's easy to be like, all right, I want to do this on my own, and I only got to worry about me doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas with the show, like I said, it's me communicating with Crystal. When does this work for you? Me communicating with Ricky, and not only the three of us getting our schedules on, but then getting the guest schedule in on top of that. On top of when can we book the studio? Like it was
many pieces,
so much communicating that needed to happen.
Yeah,
and like I said, I didn't know how we was gonna get it done, and I know that I'm probably the reason why it made it more stressful at times, because I know it's like, I guess being like my brainchild, I'm like, yo, we got to do this. It has to be done this time, this way. Like we got to get it done. We got to get these things filmed. We got to get back in the studio. We got to keep going. And I say, like, especially, what was it, like 2 weeks ago or something like that, where I think we had to, like, we canceled or postponed the recording.
Right.
And I was hot.
You were pissed.
I was hot.
I was like, oh snap! Group chat popping. My phone was hot. I had to put that joint down.
You had a front row seat. You was like, oh, this is how Stef can be.
I was like,
because I was trying to chill. Like even with that, I'm like,
you don't get his way.
I'm like, all right, like we said, we doing this, and now you telling me we not. I'm like, all right, man.
Mom and dad getting into it at the table. I'm like, put my headphones on. Like, I don't hear
Dang.
But honestly, like as much as you were the driving force to get things done, and it might have been like felt a lot on us at times, it wouldn't have got done if you weren't the way you were.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a good balance. Like it was like everything that Crystal brought to the table. I feel like I was just the glue guy, putting it into a larger perspective. Like, so like we all filled the role, but you were definitely the driving force. Like honestly, none of this for real. What happened?
I mean, that's the truth.
I don't know what to say to that.
Oh, he cheesing, y'all. Look. I don't know if y'all listening or watching, but he's cheesing right now. We love it here.
Nah, and that's the, like I said, it's crazy. They said again, we got here. I didn't think it was gonna be, even like from the beginning, because you ain't even want to be on the show.
I mean, I didn't, because listen, I'd be cool with the behind the scenes stuff. You know, my personality type, at least up till now, it's always been like, I don't need to be front and center, because low key, I'm shy.
Right.
But this has definitely helped bring out a side where, I mean, it probably helps that like every episode we've done, it's been with people that like I'm comfortable with.
Right.
So that helped to bring me out of my shell, because it's like I can act a fool with my friends, but it's like in front of the camera.
Right. Yeah.
Normally, I'm just like, nope, not me. But this definitely helped. You know, you guys helped bring me out of my shell.
Yeah, and I was the one who was like, bro, it's a marriage podcast.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It makes sense that she on the show.
It made sense to be here.
Because we was planning just with Stef, like, and then it was like, wait.
Does that make sense?
Right.
And it don't.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about like being like a husband.
Right.
But from my understanding, that wasn't really the vision of the show. So from the start.
Nah, and I'm about to say, and again, I wouldn't have
cheesing again. If y'all don't know, if y'all listening, y'all watch YouTube because he cheesing.
My mindset going in, it was just like, again, I mean, I guess it can be detrimental at times, but my mindset was like, once it came and it was, all right, at this point it's an act of obedience, then it was like, all right, like I'm doing this, and you be there or not, but I'm doing this.
Right.
And it was kind of like low-key talked about it at the at Eusebia. He was talking about like you walking ahead and like telling your spouse like, all right, catch up, when it's like, nah, y'all gotta move together and not be like, oh, like follow me and you get there when you get there, but I'm moving it, like, so
Oh, shout out to Eusebia, because you can't just mention Eusebia.
I mean, yeah. Good time. Check out that video. But yeah, so I guess I would ask y'all, like, what do y'all think was the point where y'all realized where it's like, well, actually, you know where I want to start? What was the why? Because like I said, you changed it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you changed
I changed because
your personality, like not change your personality, but it's like you stepped out in front. You, like I said, kind of took the role of like, you know what? I hear what you're saying, and I'm assuming Holy Spirit was like, nah, go do that. But it's like, what was like the driving force for y'all to be like, yes, I'm gonna be a part of it? Because y'all could have just, like Ricky, you could have just gave like, yeah, this is how you do it. Go do it. Like find somebody to do it, and you could have been like, all right, yeah, I help you, but it'll all be off screen stuff. What was the moment for y'all that changed and again, like made y'all be like, you know what? All right, I believe in the vision or whatever that is.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I'm the guest. All right, bet. Yeah. So I think there's a couple of things. One, I knew that I wanted to exercise my skills with production. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it. I did it a couple of times, but nothing consistent. And I'm like, man, like I got a space. Like I want to do some stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, I was like, what is it? Do I want to start my own podcast?
Right.
But I didn't really have the vision, and I just didn't want to start nothing just to start it.
Yeah.
And then we're at the party, we're having a good time, and then you talk about the vision of this, and then I'm like, hold up. And one thing I did tell myself, I said, whatever I do has to be purposeful,
right,
and it has to be filling a need. Because there are a lot of podcasts out there, guys. Watch ours. But there's a lot. There's a lot of podcasts, right? And I do have a lot on my plate, and everything I do, I want it to be purposeful. So when you did come to the table and you were like, "Yo, this is the vision," like there's a lot of negativity about marriage. Everyone talks about marriage is hard, which it is, but like we need to highlight some bright spots. Yeah. And I was like, boom, that's a need, right? And I was like, that's purposeful, and I can exercise my skills. I'm on it. But the thing that took it to the next level was I was one of the people saying marriage is hard. I don't even know if I want to do it. And it was like, we talked about watch episode 3, 2. Watch my episode 3, episode 3, and like ending the engagement and like giving up on like trying and I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, I'm just over it. Like, what's the point? What are the benefits? Like, is it just business? So I was in that stage of like, I don't even feel like putting in that work.
Right.
So when you said something that highlighted something that I needed to hear, it kind of just all like merged. I said, okay, I get to exercise my skills, do something I'm passionate about, help someone fulfill their purpose, but also get filled myself. And it's just been like a great, crazy ride. Crazy ride. Because you don't even know. I was in a place like, man, marriage might not be for me. Like I'm one type of person. Like this is who I'm gonna be. And I kind of gave up on like growth or like putting in work. So like having to hear successful relationship stories or people's experiences on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, I'm like, okay, well, I guess. So like it's crazy.
I did not know that. I'd have never known. But that's good to hear though, that even like you said, that it helped.
Yeah, for sure. I guess for me, well, you asked me to be a part of it, so it's like I'm going to support you regardless of if I want to do it or not. I'm going to support you.
That's love right there, y'all. That's love. That's the bright side. They're going to do it again. That's the bright side. We get excellent. Are we out?
I mean, as long as I feel, the thing is, like, anything that you have asked me to support, it's like, it made sense because I could see, like, what your vision was. I mean, even though it wasn't really, like, planned out, you had an idea. And I'm like, it's a good idea, and it's something that's needed. Like, that Ricky said, like, it fulfilled a void, I felt like. It's just so much negativity regarding marriage. I mean, I feel like every other week you hear about this couple broke up, this relationship, blah, blah, blah. Couples that have been together for like 20 years and they're just like ending it. It's just, who would want to get married when that's all you're seeing that's in the media? all this negativity. And then, like you said, we just hear that marriage is hard, which is like very much true.
Very much true.
But there has to be some positivity, right? You have to show like what's beautiful about marriage. Like, yes, people are going through these difficult times, but they're making it through on the other side. Let's make it sound more attractive. Otherwise, nobody wants to get married. No one wants to feel like they're signing up for like a death sentence, to be miserable, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like this misconception about marriage. And I agree with you when you said like you want to show it in a different light, and not just marriage. I think that was the initial idea for the show, but just like family, life, relationships in general. Just shed things in a different light, in a mature, relatable way. So I was all for it.
Right.
Yeah, that was really it.
Nah, and like I said, I genuinely appreciate y'all, like, I guess taking those steps of faith, in my idea. Cause even with me, it was like, I didn't want to do the podcast of the same reason of like, yo, like it's 1,000 podcasts. And I feel like podcasts kind of get like a negative connotation of being like a podcaster.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are people to blame for that, because there are people that are just like, y'all niggas is corny, like, or y'all like they be just talking in a way that don't even make sense to even themselves. But those are the things that get highlighted. It's like if somebody say some like wildly dumb stuff, that's gonna be the thing that gets clipped and thrown around the internet of like, oh, what y'all think? And now that's the thing getting all the attention. So I'm like, I don't even want. And like I said, y'all know me. I'm like anti-corny, but I'm very much anti-nonsense too. Like I don't like nonsense. I don't like just dumb stuff. Like, why are we talking about? Like, I'm not with all that. So I wasn't even on board really to do the podcast until like you talking me into it. But like I said, it was a need, and even with that, like I don't think I realized until after we started like doing the show. It was like, for me, I think I realized where it's like, I think I cared about marriages, but I kind of had an attitude of like if you marry, cool, but if you get divorced, like, all right, like that's on you. I don't know, God appreciates wants that, but I'm like, Steph don't care. Like, that's your life. Like, I'm sorry to hear that, but if that's what you chose, by all means, like I'm not going to be the person that's like, oh, please no. And I still am not, but I think I care more about marriages, and I think that's why I expanded it to marriage and family. Because when I think about, I don't want to be like preachy, but I feel like it's like almost like I feel like marriage is like saved the family as a whole, and I think that it trickles out from that. Even going from like Bible stuff where it's like, if the first expression of like how God loves us was he created man and wife, and then from that union, that's where everything else trickled out to.
The serpent didn't show up when it was just Adam.
Because it's like he's like by himself. Hold on, now y'all both like y'all moving different. Let me see how I can stop that. And like I said, it trickles out into the family. So it's like, and that's why I expanded. Because I think if you just focus on marriage, you're excluding so many different people and things that ultimately come into it. Where it's like, all right, like if you got like a son that's out here wilding, I mean, I think having a strong marriage, which leads to a strong family, is part of what would get that son to maybe not do. I mean, ultimately, some people gonna do what they want to do, but I think it expands so much past just like, oh, marriage. Like even talking about engagements, regular dating. Like these are the things like I think most, I don't want to say churches, but churches do be ignoring like that kind of stuff. As if they're three separate entities, when it's like realistically this is all one thing. And like if dating is like, I don't know, like the high school graduation, and then engagement is your college thing, marriage is like, all right, now this is the master's class of like all, like it's all building to the same thing. So why would we treat them as the three different things and like keeping it separate? So that was like where I'm like, we got to expand it past just like, oh, it's just marriage, we only gonna give her, and we be doing a disservice because we probably would get on here and probably obviously highlight the good things about marriage, but it ain't like everything is just like, oh, we're bringing all success stories on here. It's like we success story today. Today we success story
and still have work to do. So
man,
And I commend y'all for not excluding people who aren't married to the podcast. Like, I know that was a focus. Like, yes, the bright side, and like you guys are a married couple sharing your story.
Yeah.
But like every episode, someone can grab something from it.
Yeah.
Right. And I know you guys were intentional about that, like not excluding anybody.
Yeah.
And even me, like behind the scenes, I'm like, oh snaps, I'm picking up from each and every episode. Like, and it's working, to be honest. So like, shoot, I started this journey with y'all single, right? And it's like, oh yeah, I'm not single no more.
What?
So yeah, the different show, season 2. So like, it's like, and I'm not saying your podcast put me in a relationship, but like just as my journey going on and being intentional, but also getting filled with positivity. Definitely, I'm not going to say that didn't help at all.
Right.
Of course, I was going through my own journey with God, but like being around, you guys and seeing how intentional you were about highlighting some of the great points and letting people know and myself know, like, there's more, like, you don't have to give up.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be good days, bad days, even in dating, in life in general, parenting. But like, don't give up.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people, I know I'm not the only one who's like, oh, I gave up on love, or I gave up on trying, or it's just hard out here and it's just going to be hard out here. Or personally, for me, like, I'm never going to change type thing. And I know you shared a story about like how you started off in marriage and how you kind of evolved and grew and kind of changed your mindset. So like, even that was inspiring for someone who's like maybe not married but dating and be like, Joe, this is just the way I am. And like, it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
Yeah, almost because we choose that.
Yeah.
Like, we choose to, like, there are some things that are innately in us, but ultimately we always have to be doing the work. And like I said, even with us, where it's like I said, it looks good today, but it was like, man, by the time this episode comes out, in fact, I think this episode will come out on our actual anniversary. Yes.
No, if you're the day before.
You sure? Yeah. So the day that this comes out is the day before our 11-year anniversary. So depending on when you're watching it, happy anniversary ahead of time.
Happy anniversary, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm the first one to say it.
I appreciate you. Know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I think, I don't know, even with that, like, as I'm thinking about it, that's probably divine in some way, somehow. Like, that's not accident, I don't think. But I just be trying to listen to God. That's all. Like, right. But yeah, but like I said, it looks good today. But
like, if that party was 2 months before, then it wouldn't have fallen
realistically,
line, right?
like,
I probably wouldn't even been there.
Or even if we was like, nah, we're gonna push it out and do that one more episode that we thought about doing, it would have changed how everything played out. So that's kind of thing where I'm like, even in this moment, I'm like, all right, listen to God's timing, and don't, like, this is a joint where it's like, all right, stop trying to do my own thing or go my own way.
Cause he's gonna be laughing at you like, you don't even know.
That's I feel like a nut a little bit as I'm sitting here talking about it, because I'm like, dang, that would have messed up everything like that. Right. But that's what I said. I think it's divine timing that, like I said, the first real, I mean, I guess this is like a project, but I think this is also a form of like ministry. And of course, it ends on essentially the day that we started our first ministry, which was our marriage. I'm like, that's craziness. That's deep. It's deep.
Come on now. Where my organ? We're gonna take him out. And all around the room we're standing.
Right. But yeah, that's crazy. Cause like, again, I really would like, I wish I could tell people where it's like, we really like struggle. And if you'd have told me even at year 7, you told me year, let's say 6, 7, like that one, we would be doing stuff together. Like, not just like being together, but like working together. I wouldn't have believed you. If you'd have told me like year 5 that maybe even we still be married, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Like, we really were like in places where it's like all the things that we practice now were like out the window. And there'd be days I'd just be like, man, you know what? Chris was gonna come home and ask for a divorce, and I'll be cool with that. Like, like just waiting on, like, you know what? Because I think I was kind of in that space of like, man, I am done. I am not working for something that, at least in the moment, is not making me feel like, oh, like I'm gonna receive this.
Right.
Because I was, like I said, I was stubborn, and I still am to this day. But I changed the things. I changed the things that I'm stubborn about.
Understatement.
But yeah, like I said, you know, it's like
right.
They be like, oh, marriage is not, or divorce not an option. The hell it is.
Right.
The courthouse down the street, is it closed? No.
I could.
But I was very much of that, and even with that, I think I still I push back a little bit on that, where it's like divorce is 100% an option, but you just gotta wake up every day and not choose it.
Yeah, I feel like that makes you work harder.
Yeah,
because like you think it's not an option, you'll do whatever
exactly
and be like, well, she ain't gonna leave me or he ain't gonna leave me.
Right.
But like knowing that it is an option if you act crazy or like you're not being obedient or leading from God and leading your wife or whatever in your relationship, like no, it's an option. Let me do right.
1000%.
Right.
Yeah.
1000%.
I think acknowledging that it is an option is important because then you're basically saying like I'm doing the work to make sure that we're not going that route.
Let my job tell me getting fired ain't an option.
What? Crazy,
what? We out here.
It's up.
Yo, where we at? You 2 hours late again? What's y'all trying? You're going, nope, it ain't an option. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I need this by this day.
Right.
I'm going to do it when I want because getting fired ain't an option.
Facts. I was about to say, that's one of the things like I always point out. It'd be like if you're an alcoholic and alcohol is not an option, then you being sober isn't an accomplishment because you're not. It's not accessible to you.
Right.
But it's like, nah, I got a bottle here every day, and I'm choosing not to drink that.
Yeah.
If you was like a crackhead, I'm choosing not to do crack. But if crack didn't exist, like I ain't working to be sober. It's just happenstance.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think even my own mindset changed because I think back then I'm like, oh, divorce is an option for sure. But I think now it's like, nah, like it's getting up and doing the work, and especially like letting God kind of do his thing, not kind of do his thing, letting God do his thing, and seeing it play out and manifest itself. It's like, all right, my way is not the way. Like his ways are above all. Like, I'm like, damn, like I really don't be knowing, and that's why like faith comes in, and that's why I again look at y'all because I'm like, this entire project is an act of faith. I think because. Man.
Faith is freeing. It's like it takes a load off. When you know and you really believe and have faith that God got this, like it takes off a level of stress that I have to do everything myself. Or like when things happen randomly that you don't understand, and instead of trying to make sense of everything, we can get caught up in trying to make sense of everything in our mind, and it's like God don't need it to make sense for you for it to work out. And it's like it's like I feel like I lost weight with with strengthening my faith because I used to put like different. I used to be so heavy, like no, I gotta do this right, or I gotta control this, or I gotta. But like when you give it to God, you feel lighter. Like you literally feel lighter. Like and so like that's like so doing this, and it's gonna like even as we do this and move into the next season, like even going through all the ups and downs we did in this one. It's like if we just go into season 2, like I have faith that it's gonna work out because last season worked out, and I didn't even know how it was gonna work out.
Yeah,
like we got construction on the room. Like it was just like little things, and now we're in this joint. I'm like, oh snaps, faith. Like I'm not stressing. Like I refuse to stress over stuff I can't control. Like I'm giving everything to God.
Man, and I think God is crazy. There's a Bible verse somewhere. Solomon said it, but it was like.
That's my guy.
Trying to be wise in your own mind, like you stupid. Stupid. Yeah, that's the problem though. Wise man on earth. As soon as you start getting hosed, trick yourself out of position.
Come on now.
So,
my fault threw you off.
Nah. That's a word. That's a bar. But he calls for it was like trying to figure things out like in your own wisdom is going to keep you foolish. And it's like being like childlike in which wisdom is revealed to you. And again, they just talked about this. And I think that was a lot of, it's like you said, I kind of was doing the same thing. I'm like, man, like it took for me to be childlike and essentially like admit what I did not know in order for things to happen. Where it's like, if I tried to come in and be like, Ricky, who had done podcast stuff before, was like, nah, like you gotta do this, and I'm like, man, I ain't trying to listen to like what you telling me to do. It's like, nah, I'm gonna do this on my own because I know what I'm talking about. Like, because I mean, I'd like to think I'm a smart individual. I have some wisdom, but if I were to try to stick to like my own knowledge, especially on things that I know that I don't know about, then it was like we'd have been not here today.
I know I called some extra creative meetings that you was like, bro, I don't want to talk about this. What we doing? I'm like, no, we need to get the mind thinking and rolling.
But it was necessary. That was real. And we needed you to kind of help us think about things differently, like how to approach the show this way, so that, you know, we're getting the engagement that we need, so that we're reaching out to the people that we need to reach out to.
Yeah, having a platform on social media, being vulnerable, like preparing yourself for that. Like, are you ready to be an influencer? Right? Are you ready for people to want to know more about you guys?
Yeah.
I still ain't.
That's the tough. Yeah. That's the tough.
I don't think I accepted that yet. I don't think I accepted that one yet still.
But I mean, that also goes into why, like, our target audience wasn't just like married people, because it's like, well, you don't just like show up married. Like, you got to get there. You start out dating, so it's like we wanted to expand into that wider audience. Like, I mean, your episode is probably my favorite out of the season. I mean, because it was just such a great conversation, and I feel like it's something that I haven't seen before. Just like there's podcasts to talk about dating, there's podcasts to talk about marriage, but it's like for those who were on that way to getting married and it didn't work out, I know people who are in that same situation, and it's like no one wants to talk about that because that can be embarrassing, right? And to be vulnerable, and talk about like, I failed in this. That's like incredible. You don't see that too often.
That's fair.
So.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched it all the way through. I watched like clips because I'm like, man, I was talking. Somebody take the mic from me. Somebody take this mic. So to hear you say that, it means a lot, and I hope that other people feel the same way. And can connect to that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Do y'all feel like y'all learned anything about yourselves during this process? Because I mean, this has been when we start, so it's been like 9 months. Like,
has it been 9 months? The first episode we filmed was March 25th.
March to November.
Has it?
8, 9, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Oh my God.
We done had a baby, yo.
We done.
Come on.
This is it.
Man.
It didn't feel like it was that long.
Godfather.
But yeah, do y'all think that y'all like learned anything or like got to a place where it's like, yo, like I did that or I shared that or like in this process?
The being vulnerable piece is hard for me because it's just, I don't even be sharing stuff with my close friends like that. Like I've just always kind of kept to myself. And as far as like our relationship, you know, people say like you have to be mindful of who you like share things with. And when you're married, you know, they always say you don't talk to your single friends.
Right.
You don't bring, I mean, they have, you know, good intentions, but it's just, you have to use discernment, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I was like the only of my friends that was married when we first got married. Everyone else was still single. So the things that we went through early in our marriage, it's like I didn't have anybody to share that with. And I kind of just carried that practice. Like even today, I do have friends that are married now, but it's still hard for me to open up about certain things. So I feel like this show, even though we didn't really scratch too much of the surface as far as we definitely gave more than like I would have.
We just scratched.
Even for the simple fact that we're like open about how we had struggles. And we were definitely going down a route where it could have led to divorce. That's not something I've openly spoken about prior to this show.
Fast track.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have led there. So this has helped me to want to be, I guess, a little more transparent, even with like those that are close to me.
Yeah.
Just because I think we all need someone that we can kind of share those type of things with, because otherwise it's like this huge burden. Like I felt like I was going through a lot of stuff like by myself.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't really have to, but I don't want to have to feel like I'm doing that like moving forward. And I feel better about it now.
Well, y'all can always talk to me.
I'm about to say, I'm bringing all my problems straight to the show.
Right.
Welcome to season 4. You know what? Crystal got on my damn nerves today. Like, that's why she's not here. Like,
right.
But yeah, that definitely.
That's next level transparency.
Right. What about you, Rick?
Yeah, I feel like it's been an interesting journey. First of all, that week I could start and finish a season of a podcast. Before this, I've been doing like sporadic stuff. But now, first of all, I think I owe y'all a check. Because of this, my business been booming with the podcast stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you do so. So I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this, John. So so like if I put my mind to it and if I'm obedient, God will provide the rest. Because it is a lot of time, it is a lot of energy, and I really want to be intentional and involved in the process. There's some podcasts now I'm just like strictly production, no creative opinions, nothing. Like you can come with your hair messed up. I ain't saying nothing because that's not what I'm getting. That's not on my docket, right? That's not on my responsibility. But with this one, and I prefer being involved in the creative process for podcasts and helping people's because if it doesn't align with me, like if my name's on it, then like I don't want it to just be out there. So learning that how I like to do things, it's hard for me just to sit back. I mean, sometimes you gotta get a check, you know what I'm saying? So he's just like, I'm push this button, we're gonna keep it moving. Right. But like for me personally, like it's okay to say no to certain things if it doesn't align to what your purpose is. But so like, and on the other end, being a witness to your podcast, it's literally inspiring. It's like I feel like you manifest or you're a product of what you fill yourself up with. Right. And like you can scroll all day and get advice from people who aren't married when it comes to relationships and even marriage. Or like just you can retain so much information. But being around people who are like-minded, mostly spirit-filled, I feel like a lot of this episode, I know this isn't a spiritual show, but I feel like a lot of it, because of who y'all are, your faith comes out in it. So like surrounding yourself and getting filled with that, it kind of help turn my life in a different trajectory. Aside of me, my own personal relationship and my goals, but like this definitely added. I wouldn't be able to say like this had no impact on my life in general. So,
wow.
Look at y'all changing lives out here. If y'all ain't getting nothing else, y'all got one. Y'all got one. He just happened to be with y'all every day.
So, that's real.
Yeah, I'm sure we got some more though.
I hope so.
I hope. I hope.
Right.
Let us know.
Like for real.
Yeah, for real. I think we just be saying that, but yeah, not I say even like you listen to you talk. I think I know. Now I think I know that I took for granted that we actually started and finished like a season of the podcast. Because even I would say like in this week alone, and some of the other things that I was like trying to do and get done, I guess because they're more like tasking or like they ask more of me, that I think a part of me is like maybe that's more important, and I think in doing that, then I take for granted like what we did with this, like what we did with season 1, and I think I took for granted that we started and finished that, and were like graced and carried through that. And I think part of, I guess, like my learning is even happening now is like really got to take a step back and understand like that we were graced with this and we were graced to be able to like get through it. Because I think, stop it. Come on. Come on.
Yo, first Stef be preaching, y'all. Y'all don't even get it.
Nah, like I just listen.
We was graced. Hey.
Not like, what's it called? Who was it? Me and Dr. Harold, he said it to you too, but it was like, they were saying it was like over like 80 or 90% of podcasts that start don't make it past episode 6.
Yep. And I feel like 6 is where we hit the hiccup.
Ooh, that might have been a switcher. And
I feel like
everything was going. Yeah,
I feel like since around 6, we was like, what's we need to. Now we getting backed up, and we falling by like 6. 6 was that time.
That was around then.
Yeah.
And I think with the hiccups, it's a lot easier to be like, you know what? Let's take a step back and regroup.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, we got to keep working. Like we have to like. And again, I think I also took for granted how much that I cared about this show. Because like I said, and the other things that like I write and try to get done in projects that y'all know about. I think with those, I'm like, oh, it's bigger. And I feel like oh, I had more of a hand in it because it was like you creating like something from nothing.
Yeah.
And I think I'll look at that as like, oh, that's more important. It's like, again, even like right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm like, I think I had it wrong. Like, because we did the same thing here. And I definitely was not like appreciative of like, yo, like we did season 1 and we like did it. And we did it the right way. And we put it like we stayed true to definitely like my vision and how I wanted it to be.
Right.
And it improved as we went. Yeah. And we're in like the space we're in now, going into like what season 2 will be. I'm like, yo, like it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Even just like the room is better.
Yeah.
Like, and again, like those are the things that I wasn't even really thinking about. And I definitely took it for granted.
That's like, sometimes it's hard to live in the moment and appreciate, like, celebrate the small things, right?
I don't live in the moment.
No, we're gonna reel you in. You don't want to miss it because like you only finished this first season once, right? You only like it started here, bro. Yeah, like literally started here. Conversation, probably tipsy.
Oh yeah.
So like it started up there, and it's just like all right,
was right there.
And now we got like pages and YouTube channels and subscribers and stuff like that. So like it's okay to be like, yo, that's really dope. And it was a journey. Yeah. It definitely was a journey. If I wasn't bald already, I definitely would have. I'd have been bald by the end of this job.
Man,
I still see patches in my beard in the sink. But I ain't gonna say nothing else. You know, I love y'all. But like, so just appreciating it, and it's all right.
Yeah. I think that's something I want to now, and even going into season 2 is like be more in the moment, because I think I almost like let it pass. Because even like whatever you said at the beginning of the episode, I'm like, Dad, like again, it's like I don't know what to say to it because I got to sit with it right now.
Yeah.
Whereas any other time, I'd be like, man, it ain't nothing, and let's hurry up and get to the next thing. Right. Like you don't get to sit with those things. Yeah. I feel like I probably do that with other things. I mean, you would probably know more than because you get to see me.
You do that with your own accomplishments. You got your master's. You be just trying to speed past. You don't even want to let people know.
I mean, because in my mind, things like that are like, and I think I said it before in the podcast, the expectations I have of myself, not even just of myself, but it's like I know that like what God expects of me and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. I'm like, these things are like, you got to do it. So why would you celebrate something you have to do? And that's how I look at it.
Right, but even like you said before, like you just don't wake up married. Like correct. You can celebrate you can celebrate meeting somebody that you vibe with. Mm-hmm. You can celebrate a month anniversary. You can celebrate. You don't just end up married. Like
there's a journey to get there. You have to celebrate as you meet those milestones.
Yeah, and you might you might know what God has for you, but like it's not like boom. I'm just gonna skip all these. Like you have to take the steps. If you don't take the steps, you'll never get there. So like you can celebrate each step. Yep. You can celebrate each step.
And just like that, I get chastised. Just like that.
It sounds like the group chat.
No, but that is true though, and like I mean, again, even when people talk about the show, I'm like, oh yeah, like it's hard for me to sit in like that is something that we're doing and something we're part of, because in my mind I'd be like, yo, like just go watch it. Don't try to talk about it with me. Like go watch it. We don't gotta experience it right now. But I think I know I need to do better with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that the day when I start doing that, I'm be nervous because I feel like it's going to be probably more emotional, and I'm not there yet. I don't need the first time I like show emotions when I win my Oscar.
Listen, I'm gonna be Will Smith in the audience. Like, what's up?
Oh Lord,
man.
Keep my
no, I can see. I'm more like Chris Rock. I ain't gonna lie,
man. That's like I said. It is crazy. Like I said, it's crazy just sitting here and again in the moment. I'm like looking at things. I'm like, yo, like it's just it feels different. It feels like we actually accomplished something, and it feels even. The posture of how like sitting here where it was like talking, and again you being comfortable in front of a microphone, in front of a camera, and doing stuff and seeing how that even manifests itself where like again at like Eusebia, I know before you wouldn't have been like the person on stage like saying stuff, but it's just like it definitely feels like this show is the catalyst, or it's like a seed into what will manifest into different things that we're going to grow into. And I think that I'm looking forward to the growing into whatever that is. And I, like I said, I understand that I don't know what it will look like, but I think to y'all point, I do have to be more intentional in celebrating the steps, because every step that we take is a step in obedience. And I thank y'all for taking them with me, because I think
it's my pleasure, man.
Like truly, I do thank y'all for taking it, because I'm not I never thought I'd be like, oh, it's a team thing. Like I ain't think it was gonna be that. Like you know what I mean? Like
we're amigos.
Nah, like for real though, like having that is like different. But to see it again, because I think people go through life and get discouraged because you want to do something with some, like you think like, oh, because you're friends with people, like we're supposed to do this, and it's like I don't think you're supposed to do all those things together. But it was like we started, and it's like we did it.
Right.
So again, I thank y'all. I truly am grateful. I'm really excited for what we've been talking about for season 2.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
I think
some good stuff coming.
Some good stuff coming. I know Crystal is like super hype about the room, because
I love the room. It's just it's a new vibe. I mean, I'm really excited.
It feels like we took a step forward.
It does, even though we had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Right.
Like we just rent the place. Okay, that's it.
And we might even add our own little touch in here.
Yeah. So
bring something with us.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to. I feel like we're gonna have like the guest lineup is gonna be a little like crazy.
Yeah.
Cause one, I think we're gonna have more people that we don't know closer.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have more younger people. Cause I think that there is something to learn from them. I think that we would be fools if we was trying to reach people younger than us and not talking to people younger than us.
Come on now.
So I think that's where I don't know. I ain't even good.
Yeah.
But I'm like looking at the way that things are going to go forward, and I think the conversations are going to be. I will hope. I'm praying that they're a lot more impactful, and that they're like we starting to like get to like some not juicy stuff in like some shade room type of tip, but like getting the stuff where it's like nah, like people don't talk about it, but it's real life. Like the same way like how y'all episode was, where it's like it's real life. Like it's like you gotta go.
Crystal's favorite.
My favorite.
Man.
Did you have a favorite episode?
Favorite episode?
Yeah.
I don't think I had a favorite per se, because at least for me, how I experienced every episode was different.
Yeah.
So like you go like that's for episode 1, and I was like, again, I have no problem being especially for like acting stuff. I have no problem being in front of camera.
Right.
I love it. I thrive off it. But going into that episode, I was like nervous as hell.
Right.
So like
we're gonna do a side by side of you the first episode.
Man,
now.
I feel like welcome everybody.
Like like you a lot more like timid. Like hi, welcome to the bright side. I think that's what the show's called. Like, but
what do I want to call myself? Stefan stuff.
Yeah, like I'm like I forgot my name. Right. I'm like, come on,
like,
man.
Get it together.
I was looking. I'm like, that's corny. Like,
I feel you. But every episode had its own.
Like it had its own thing, and it was like so. Like when my friends on it, was like I gotta do well in front of my friends, and it's like Dr. Harold is on, and I'm like, all right, I want him to see like the growth, especially like for them seeing us like over the years. It's like I hope that like our growth is showing in us having this conversation, and like the major they come on, it was like we're having this conversation, and that was like almost like this is just like a start of like the stuff that we were talking about with them as far as like working and going forward. So it's like I experienced every episode different because they all presented like something different.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like favorite. I don't know, because even for me, I had a tough time. Like you, I ain't really like watching it back. I didn't enjoy it because I just like it would be cool once I started watching, but in my mind I'm like I ain't watching that. Like Chris will get the clips, we get them while you editing, but I'm like I don't want to watch. And so but yeah, so I would like to thank y'all for coming on this journey with us. Again, season 1 is officially a wrap. We will be posting things on our page and individual pages that will keep you posted and updated on what's happening with us. So real quick, I guess, what's the bright side of season 1 for you?
The bright side of season 1 was embarking a journey with you that's outside of just like our relationship. I mean, outside of just having children together.
Right.
It was like a project that we could do together, and getting to be coworkers. That was the bright side for me. It's just I love getting to be able to do things with you that are just outside of what you would expect just for like a married couple. And then also getting to work with you, Ricky. Like this really brought our friendship closer. Getting to learn more about you, and seeing you work in your gifts to help us out. that was awesome. And then lastly, I guess the bright side is just feeling a sense of accomplishment that we started something. We're not finished yet. I mean,
absolutely
we finished
not
the milestone, but that we just have like so much more to accomplish together. And just envisioning like how great this show can really be and the people that we can touch. So I'm hyped.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think number 1 is honestly building a relationship with y'all. I was trying to go a different direction, but that's the truth. Just like getting to know y'all as a couple, as friends. It's been really good for me. We'll talk offline about that. That's too vulnerable. But look, man, we all I got milestones.
We're working towards it.
Yeah,
we're working towards it.
But no, I feel like that's been the highlight. Just seeing you guys be obedient, work through hard times, but also inspire, like sticking to like God put this on my heart and I'm going to do it. And some people, myself included, like we can hear God say something, but we put it to the side for so long. But seeing you guys actually be obedient and walk in it, and being side by side in that process has been an honor. Don't do that. Don't you do that.
All right, sir. Bright side.
Well, I'm gonna have to follow that up. The bright side for me, first and foremost, is being able to say that I took steps in obedience, and did something that it was like you were called to do, and you did it. And I don't even like to say did it because I'm like, we still got work to do. And I think that also is a bright side that we still got work to do.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's good.
Genuinely. Starting and finishing a project is a big one. Because again, this is probably the first real purpose-driven project that I've ever done, ever. And really coming to see it like get a successful like bang bang. I've had other things that like I think they were steps that would lead me to what would be like the purpose. But doing this as like our own thing, that's a big. But also just one of the biggest things for me, and I think you kind of touched on it, Ricky, was like, I see how this show is like building our community. I think that it's been like rippling out, whereas like the friends that we've had on here, it kind of opened up the door to like have deeper conversations, and lean on people in different ways that I would have never done. Like I don't ask people for stuff because I'm like, you being cool with me is enough. But when people are then like it's giving people even greater purpose in my life. It's like even you were there already, but it's like it gives people greater purpose. So like that community, but also like I said, I think it made us better because like we had to work together. And I think that like if this, I mean, this was big, but in the context of life, I'm like, if we can do this together, what else can we do that we're not even like thinking of? What is the greater than you could think or imagine that comes along with us doing what we're supposed to do together? Yeah. And I thank you and love you for supporting me from the jump on that. And that was it wouldn't have happened without that. So I genuinely thank you for that. I love you too.
All right, I'm gonna exit on that one because they're gonna need this room to themselves in a little bit.
Nah, it's a $50 fine. We messed up.
You know what I just thought about really quick? I'm sorry. Bright side. It's just, you made me just think of it. Like the guests that we have on the show.
Yeah, shout them out.
Just like the conversations that we're having, I feel like we get poured into every episode.
Oh, that's a fact. Well. That's a fact.
Like, I know the whole purpose is so that we can like reach out.
That's a fact.
But this has been benefiting our relationship as well. It's like I'm getting something from every conversation that we're having. So it's like I'm grateful to like all the guests. Thanks to you for your transparency. Everyone that we've had on this season that have just been so open to sharing like their journey and like the things that their lessons learned. Yeah. It's been awesome.
That's how God works. Like when you're obedient and you feel like, oh, it's about to be a lot of work. I don't know how much I'm saying it. He pours into you and you like, he sustains it. Yeah. Like he's like, all right, you're going to do this. You've been praying for this. Just do this.
Yes.
And I'm going to answer those prayers by you doing what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm going to feed into you in ways you didn't think I was going to be able to, using people you didn't think will ever, you know, be able to help you in certain areas.
That's for sure.
It all comes with saying yes. So
yeah. And I think that like in saying yes, I think we often like to look at like, because like I said, songs about it and it sounds good. We'd be like, oh, God wouldn't put more on us than we can bear. And it's like, nah, he absolutely will put more on you than he can bear because he wants us to have faith in him and let him, like you said, let him sustain it. Yeah. And that's our faith walk of letting him sustain the things that, he put it on you, knowing you can't carry it. Yeah. But I'm going to grace you to because I'm in it. That's it. We got to stop preaching. No, we gotta get out of here. We
Q Oregon. I'm trying to. We need an Oregon next season 2. Give me a little something. I know a couple chorus now. I know a couple.
Yeah, all right, you're gonna be right next to Tim, and he's coming in next Sunday. Now that you said it,
like, let me see.
Right.
That's funny. We saw you on the bright side talking about some.
Oregon. Man,
C# and F. That's about it.
Man, but again, thank y'all again for tuning into not only this episode, but this entire season of The Bright Side. Every episode that we have filmed is up. I know that y'all ain't watched every one, so go back and watch it.
I mean, those views are a little inconsistent.
Come on now, get it together.
Come through. Like I said,
catch up on what you missed.
During this little break, like I said, catch up on what you missed. We are still gonna be putting things out that y'all can consume as I don't even like saying content, but it's things that we're gonna be putting out that y'all be able to see, that y'all be a part of. And even like I said, as we're getting ready to transition into season 2, if it's topics that you want to see, if there's something that you want to hear or you think that needs to be talked about, maybe it's something that you've gone through and you feel alone with it, we tell y'all, please hit us up.
Hit us up. Y'all be hitting us up.
Yeah. Let us know. Go in the comments. Send us emails at thebrightsideshow23@gmail.com. Check out our page at thebrightsideshow23 on Instagram. And like I said, do not feel no ways about, like I said, don't shout, hit us up in comments, reaching out. Like I said, sending emails. But yeah, just kind of engaging with us because we're looking forward to engaging with y'all and hopefully having episodes and events and other things that really get y'all really out and get us really kind of building this community past what it is right now. So until season 2, we thank y'all and we will catch y'all next time. Peace.